Thanks for coming, guys. Yeah, just excited to be here today. A great week of practice already. It's off to a good start, and really proud of the way that we've competed this season thus far, especially like how we were playing as we finished the season. You know, we went into some really tough environments and handled that really well, showed a ton of growth, both on the basketball court and personally. Our program is about becoming, and that's the person and the player. And we saw a lot of growth in both areas this season and excited to continue that growth.
Coach, you talked about good practice. I wanted to ask you, how do you approach this time between the conference tournament and then selection day? I mean, are you paying attention to anything like bracketology or anything like that? Who you're projected to play against? Or are you just is the team focusing on itself and getting better and being ready?
Yeah, great question. I mean, to be the best team that you can be, you have to be present and focusing on the areas of growth that you want to grow in. And so we've been able to spend a lot of time in film looking at the looking at the Big Ten tournament and areas that we needed to grow in from that in preparation. And so we've had some areas on the basketball court that we've continued to want to grow in, and we've really finally gotten the time. We were doing a lot of traveling, and so I think we averaged like 2.5 days off in February. And it's not a lot of time when you also have to travel to a destination. So we got an opportunity to be home and work on us, and that's been unusual for this last month. So it's actually been really fun to be able to sit in the film room and watch our film, not your scout, and be able to kind of lock in on those areas that you can be better at. And so we're excited to continue doing that.
To go back to the Big Ten tourney, I know it hasn't been you as the coach the whole time that this has been happening, but it's the program's first conference tournament win since Kelsey was here. I mean, does that ever cross your mind, anything like that? Some of these accolades, like I think it's the most wins the program has had since Kelsey was here, first tourney win. Do you reflect on any of that now, or is it just still remaining present?
We always want to celebrate growth. And so I think, yeah, along the way, we've had some great moments to say this is really great growth we're having. You want to reflect on the work you've put in to inspire you to put in more work and to see that you could continue to get better. And so, I think the most important thing for us is like how good can we be is the question we keep asking our team. We're in every game, and in some games we've really played exceptionally well. And I actually think we could have played better. And I think our team thinks we could have played better, even in wins. And so we're just kind of just tapping the surface of it right now. It's really exciting. You could see that as the season was going on. We just kept getting better and better. And so I think that it's important to celebrate the success that we're having along the way, but it's probably more important that we keep our eyes focused on that we have not reached even come close to our ceiling yet.
And I know we've still got to get through selection day, right? But can you speak to what it would mean personally to make this tournament, what it would mean for this group, and as well as the program as you've built this up?
Yeah, we're so proud of those young women. This has been, when we came here, we wanted to build our program in a way that would reflect the University of Washington, the values of this university, the values of this athletic department. And these young women are such an incredible example of those values. And so they come in every day, and they're incredible servant leaders. They love this community and have just really become tied to it. And so it'll be really fun to have Selection Sunday and be able to celebrate the growth this community helped us have, the way they showed up for us this season, and the way that they've poured into our young women, and I think the way the young women love this university. And so it's exciting to have those things to celebrate. It's also been a year of just continuing the growth basketball-wise on the court, and to be able to reflect on the growth of this season is really fun already. To look back at, back from the beginning of the season until now, and this is a completely different team than it was when we began, which is a tribute to their character and their work and their desire to be great. And so I'm really proud of the work and the people and the program.
And building off of the potential of making the tournament, what are you telling or what are you communicating to the players right now to help them prepare for what's to come with the potential of making the tournament?
Yeah, it's exciting. The NCAA tournament is a tournament that has the best teams in the country, and They've already had an opportunity to compete against so many of them in the Big Ten, and so we have potentially 2 number 1 seeds in our conference, and we have 2 seeds in our conference or more, and it's just really fun because we've already taken the floor against them, and can see where we can stack up the areas that we need to improve in to be able to compete and win games like that. Because we've been close. And so that excites you in this week of preparation when you know that you can compete against anyone, but you know that there's areas you need to be better at to finally get over that last piece that you need to be better at. And that's exciting. And so we were able to go into the film room and look at some areas that can be another 8 points, another 6 points here. And, we lose by 8 to Michigan, and we can show you 2 areas right now that we were in complete control over, that if we can shore that up, you can be really excited about it. And so it's a really fun time of the year.
And then having coached postseason play, whether it be the tournament or the NIT tournament, what have been the most important factors in seeing success?
Yeah, postseason play is fun because this is the time of the year that you work all year for, and if you are a student, my favorite thing that was said to me yesterday in practice was, I'm so excited that we get to keep playing basketball. Like, if you love this game, you want to play this game at the highest level, and you want to compete at the highest level, and that's why they're here. And so I think that's what postseason play is about, is like just focus on playing the best of our ability. Can we execute just a little bit better? Can we be a little more connected? And move as one even better than we are right now, and I believe we can. And so just staying focused on those things.
You talk a little about preparation for the tournament. Like you said, this is kind of the first time all season where you've had more than a couple days to be at home and practice. What does practice or preparation look like that's maybe different for something like this compared to when you're here for a couple days and then you're off on the road?
Mm-hmm. Sleeping in your bed for a few days is really great. It's really good to rest. No, kidding. But, really just to be able to get in a routine is something that's great for your health. It's great for your mental health. It's great for your physical health. And so our players are, I don't take that lightly, that we're able to get in a routine of what time we're going to sleep and what time we're getting up in our time zone. And how we're eating and how we're recovering and how we're working out. And we're doing a great job of recovery right now, kind of rebuilding our bodies and getting ready for that. And so this week is a great get in a rhythm week. And then you get out of rhythm again, but you've kind of rebuilt your system and you're ready for that again, and you're stronger than you were before you started this week. And so we're excited for that.
And going back to what you just said, talking back to the Michigan game, there were 1 or 2 things you said that you were in control of. Maybe some other things they could have improved on a little bit. Maybe that's a different result. What are some of those things that you're working on this week to get ready for whoever you're playing, really?
Yeah. I just think you break down the game in parts. You can say it's your after timeouts or your out of bounds plays or simply transition defense or just different parts of the game. And so we just look at each aspect of the game and areas that we would like to improve.
About the competition of the tournament, we've had this conversation for about this year and last year, where it was the Pac-12. It felt like every game was a tournament game. Similar story in the Big Ten, where you have 2 1 seeds, Maryland, Ohio State, all these really good teams. How much has this really tough schedule and really from this year and last year prepared these players who are going to be playing in an NCAA tournament for the first time? How does all of this prepare them for when they're going to be playing those kinds of teams every single game?
I mean, how many teams get to play against this many NCAA tournament teams night in and night out? And honestly, so many that also are so close, or could be, And so I think that's really fun and a great gift. You can't have the growth this team had without playing this kind of competition every day. And so we consider it a great blessing. It's such a great blessing to play, to be pushed in life, to be challenged, because without challenge, there's really not growth. And so really grateful for the challenges we had.
And on growth, that's also been another thing we've talked a lot about this year is competitive stamina. That's kind of been your motto since the first game of the season. Coming back to now, how have you seen that grow in the team? And at this point, heading into tournament play, are you really confident that that is a strength of this team?
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. It was the beginning of the year, the way we really focused on how we would improve is we wanted to improve our competitive stamina. How long can we be stronger just a little bit longer each game? and really increase that. And I think you saw that in that last few six games or so that we were finishing up the season in. And you could see when we went on the road for a senior night and we had to play a certain way, and then we had to travel and go to another team's senior night in front of a great crowd, and we had to have a little bit longer stamina, and then obviously coming home and playing Oregon and then going back on the road the next day to play in the conference tournament. And so the stamina of this team at the end of the season with the turnaround times we had, I mean, I don't know of anyone that had those kind of turnaround times and still competed in the level and the way in which we competed. And so I actually was really just blown away by our young women and their resiliency, their toughness, and their togetherness. And I thought it was really special. So couldn't be more proud of their competitive stamina right now.
Yes, as a follow-up, do you attribute kind of the late season hot streak to that competitive stamina?
I do think it was something that we learned from a mindset and a physical strength. We became exceptional at our recovery, and that was mental and physical, and in our preparation, because we had to be really great in film prep. Sometimes we would be on the floor, sometimes we would be allowed in an opponent's arena, and most of the time we weren't. And so we would go to a high school gym or to a rec center and then watch film. And so I think this team became very resilient and understood, no, we can still be great. And so, yeah, I do attribute that kind of, honestly, the grueling schedule of the Big Ten is a plus, because you can't have better preparation for an NCAA tournament than the way that we traveled and competed at a high level. And so I do attribute the Big Ten and the conference to that growth that we had.
In terms of recruiting, you're bringing in a really high recruiting class, and this was before you've kind of went on your late tournament possibility run. Have you had any conversations with those recruits as this kind of stretch has been happening? And if you have, how have they been responding to this?
Oh, our student athletes that are signed are tremendous. They're actually competing for their own championships, and so we've had several just competing at a really high level, and so we are always talking to them. So they're great. They're so committed. All of them watch every game. They love the game of basketball, and that's what's made them great at what they do. And so really invested in Washington. We have had our own players watching some of them play as well, which is really fun. So yeah, just a great investment on both parts.
Last one to me, I think it might have been yesterday, a couple of days ago, the Instagram put out a video of the players talking about what Washington means to them, or maybe one word that they would have used to describe this team. And kind of a common theme was, kind of like I said earlier, togetherness or belonging or culture. If you had to give one word to describe either this team or how the last couple of weeks have been, can you give us one?
We're still becoming.
Okay. All right. To go off what Andrew mentioned with the recruiting class, I mean, this is, again, I touched on it. This program has done a lot that they haven't done in several years. Mm-hmm. And you've got a strong recruiting class coming in. I'm sure I don't want to get too far ahead because we've still got other things you need to take care of this year, right? But, I mean, how exciting is that to, I know a lot of folks around here have wanted Husky basketball to get back to this sort of point, right, on both sides. Mm-hmm. For, again, still got to get through selection day, but to potentially make the tournament, all these wins since, Kelsey was here, and then have a few strong recruiting classes built up. Mm-hmm. Is that exciting to you to think about as the coach who's going to be, orchestrating this sort of thing? And how excited maybe should fans be, not only for this year and the games left to play, but also for, what's to come still in the years ahead?
I think the only thing I could say is just how grateful we are. I mean, we're grateful for a university who wanted us to build a values-based, culture-driven program that understood that would take time and allowed us to do that with incredible people. We're grateful for all of the people, the young people, their families, our staff. We have an incredible group of people that have chosen to commit to this university and its future, and they understood that it would be a building process from where we began until where we are now. And so just really grateful for all the people that have chosen to be a part of this program. And I do think that the future is really exciting.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for your time.